Hey, what's up guys? Nick from Apollo Off-Road, and today we're gonna be showing you a video on the new Baja Designs XL-Linkable on the truck behind us. We've got an unboxing for you, laid out of all the materials, and we're gonna walk you through the full installation. So stay tuned, let's get in the garage and let's get started.
First things first, we're gonna put everything out here on the bench, make sure that we have all of our components. So you're gonna get this handy packing list here. It's gonna show you everything. If you need the instructions, there's a QR code here. You can follow along. These are gonna be our main mounting brackets of the truck. These are the rest of our assembly brackets. This is gonna be our support piece in the middle, some zip ties, some wiring harness, and all of that. So first thing, we wanted to open this up, make sure we have everything before we start this project. Now we're going to get the light bar on the bench and start assembling and setting it up, because you do have to break it into 3 different sections to start putting all this stuff together. So we got the light laid out here on the bench, and we have, I just went make sure everything looks good before we get started. I'm going to put the covers that I took off, I'm going to put those back on here. We're going to flip this thing face down and start the disassembly and reassembly. All right, so the first thing we're going to do, we're going to take these end brackets off because they're not used. We're actually going to be slipping those brackets back there in between these lights, so the end brackets are going to come off. So to take these apart, basically we're going to just take these Allen screws out here, Allen screws out here, and then we're also going to take these Allen screws out there and then put them back in. So now we have the end brackets off. We're going to leave these like that. Now we need to start actually prepping the bar for installation of the mounting brackets that are back there. So we're going to disconnect here, and we're going to disconnect here on the outer light, and those brackets are going to slip in place. And then we're also going to disconnect here in the middle, because that's where we're going to put our assembled support bracket once it's done. So here's a shot of what the final disassembly looks like before we start moving. So we'll call this light 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then 7. So from light 1, you're going to remove the outer bracket and the inside bracket. Keep this bracket on light 2. Coming to the other side, same thing. On light number 7, we're going to take that bracket off, leave it off. We're going to take this bracket fully off, leave it off, and then this guy's going to stay on. Then here in the middle, so this is coming all the way back out, light 1, 2, 3, and then number 4, we're going to separate these two and then take the inside bracket off of number 4, because that's where our stabilizer bar is going to go. So when it's all done on your bench, this is what it looks like. Now it's time to start putting pieces back together. Here we are at the back of the light now. So we are completely finished with the installation and the alignment of the lights, at least as far as the curvature of the bar. This is what the driver's side is going to look like. You're going to see that bracket that's in there squeezed in with the longer hardware that was provided. I did clean that zip tie up so it looks a little bit better. And then obviously this is leaning forward because the weight of it is pulling itself forward, but it is on the bench, good to go. So everything here, that all these lights are aligned. So you have to undo each of these screws all the way across the top. And then if you'll notice, each one, this gap right here is perfectly straight. And this gap right here is perfectly straight. And it looks like that all the way across, which is why now we have this nice curvature to the bar. It's a little hard to see from this angle, but when you rotate this thing back, you can now see how the entire bar is curving. So that's what that's going to look like. Before we get this installed, obviously we may have to do some final alignment once we get it on the truck, which is tedious, just the nature of the beast with these linkables. But also went ahead and I cleaned up these zip ties. I didn't really like the way some of these looked. They were sticking up over the top and I didn't want the gaps in the lights. So the last thing that we got to do is we have to bolt on our support bracket here, and we're going to leave that, snug but somewhat loose, and then we'll do the final alignment once we get it on the truck. So here is the final shot. We have this in here. We're just going to put a zip tie on there. We have the support bracket all the way in. Brackets and wiring, everything is dialed in. So now this is fully assembled. We're going to get this ready to go on the truck. All right, guys. So one thing I didn't notice before, a couple of these lenses were wrong from the factory when we were getting the initially getting the bar set up. So Baja Designs, when they were putting together, they just had a couple lenses in the wrong place. So this is what it's supposed to look like. 3 spots in the center, flanked by a pair of the driving combos, and then flanked by a pair of the wide cornering. So this is the exact setup that it's supposed to be. Swapping out the lenses was not a big deal. You literally just remove 1, 2, 3, 4 Allen screws, pull the bezel off, pull the lens out, move it around to where you needed to, put it back together. Super easy to do. And one of the really cool things about Baja Designs products is that they are user serviceable. So now this is completely done, ready to bolt onto the truck. So we're gonna go pull the bumper off now so that we can get the plastic piece on top cut so we can mount our mounting brackets to it and all that, and we can throw this all on the truck. So that's coming up next. So over here on the side of the truck, if you have adaptive cruise control, you're gonna have a bigger square here. If you don't, then it's gonna look like this on both sides. Doesn't really matter either way, disassembly is gonna be the same. You need to get to the bumper bolts that are behind these plastic covers. So you're gonna pull right here on both sides, pull this cover off, pull that cover off. Now, if you do have adaptive cruise control, you are gonna need to remove the ACC sensor, and we'll show you how to do that after we get these covers off. All right, so here these are pulled off on the ground. You can see here, this is the back side. So they're gonna have 3 pins on each one. And so you're gonna pull these off from the outside first and then work your way towards the center of the truck. So here's the passenger side of the truck. Now, my bolts and hardware are gonna look a little bit different because we are running bumper spacers on the front of this truck. So this is what it's gonna look like. If you have adaptive cruise control, then you are gonna have your sensor located right here. There's 2 ways to remove the sensor, and you can see the outer bumper bolts right there. The inside bumper bolts behind this sensor. So there's 2 ways to remove this sensor. One is you can take off the individual studs and then pull everything out that way. The other way to do it is have an external Torx. I like to use an external Torx, and I pull the entire stud out. This top left stud is gonna be used for adjustability. That's what pitches the unit forward and backwards. So if you are gonna use an external Torx socket, which in this case it's an E6, make sure that you pay attention to the angle of this sensor before you disconnect and then reconnect so that you know that everything is gonna be correct with the truck when you hook everything back up. Oh, and there's also this one plug right here. You'll unplug that too once you take it off. Be very, very careful with this sensor. If it's dropped, you need to buy a new one. And it even says that on there, it's stamped, it says replace if dropped. So just a heads up, be super careful with this sensor. So you can see with this piece removed now, this is what it's gonna look like. This is what the sensor looks like with that whole bracket. If you remove it the way that I recommended, I think it is the easiest one to do. And you have that one plug that's right there. So this is ready for bolt removal, other than the fact that we have to disconnect the factory wiring harness. So there's one main wiring harness for the whole bumper up underneath on the driver's side. So we're gonna go unplug that, and then it's time to pull these 8 bolts out and get this bumper off. Here we are on the underside of the truck. This is the driver's side frame rail. We're just gonna disconnect this, pinch it in and pull it. And now we're ready to pull the bumper off. All right, I lied. There are 4 more bolts to remove. You need these 2, you need to remove those on both sides to get this bumper off. All right, guys, forgot about one more thing here. If your truck is equipped with a factory engine block heater, then this is on a separate wiring harness and the main wiring harness to the front. So you just need to pop a couple clips out of this, and then that will release from the truck. You can pull the bumper off. So it'll look like that when you're all done. Here we are on the back side of the truck, and the only real reason we needed to pull this off is to get this plastic shroud off, because we're gonna have to modify it and cut it. So we're gonna flip this over all the way on the bottom, and I'll get a better angle for you. There's a bunch of push tabs. We're gonna push those push tabs in with pliers, and then we're just gonna pull this off. All right, so once removed, this is what this one plate's gonna look like. You can see all these tabs along the bottom. Pinch those with pliers. I used a combination of a set of standard needle nose pliers, and then I've got this one that's angled, and so I use those 2. So went ahead and tightened this down on the brackets, so you can see here, this bolt here, there's one a little bit more forward, that one, both sides, those line up with factory holes. It's all good. The one thing that I will say though is that the cut lines that Baja Designs told us to use in the instructions, not accurate at all. about one whole like raised plastic section off. So I'm gonna put those back on the bench. I mocked it up, re-taped it. I'm gonna show you all that now, and then I'm gonna make our cuts. Back on the bench here. So previously we had this over here, and when I lined up, there was no way that was gonna work. So went ahead and measured it, got it centered. There is a pin here in the center. So what you can do is line that up with the center hole, and I just went on the back side, got it to where it was straight and even, and then lined this up. So these flattened edges here, these are going to be lined up with the curve of the brackets. It's pretty close to square. It's probably a millimeter off. Ultimately, you're not going to be able to tell once it's on the truck, and we probably are going to have to shave it anyway. So about to get a fresh utility blade, heat it up, and just slice through this like butter. All right, so this is with everything finally assembled. So we got all the bolts in, two there, 4 total, and the support bracket in the middle. You wanted to leave this loose here so that you could tighten up these 2 on the support beam. So what I did is I lifted up on the light bar, and then I tightened the nuts and bolts one at a time. Got that where we needed it. There is some adjustability with all the Allen keys here, but we wanted to get as close as we could. So now that this is done, I'm gonna re-zip tie the harnesses here to this little piece, make sure that everything looks clean, and then this is ready to go back on the truck. All right guys, here we are top side on the engine bay, and now we're getting to the point where we're running wiring. So if you look right there, between the intake and the front, there's some daylight. If you've got a fish or fish sticks, you're gonna be able to do this. If you don't, you're gonna need to pull this radiator shroud off so that you can pass these wires down. So I'm gonna grab the fish sticks, we're gonna pass the wires through there. All right guys, so this is the XL Pro Linkable. So we've got 2 power leads on this harness, and you'll notice I added a little zip tie here. I used that for my hook on my fish sticks, pulled it right through, no problem. This is plenty of slack for what we need because the bar itself has about 1 foot of slack on it. This harness is super long, so this will probably be enough to get us connected once this bumper's on. So that's about it. We're gonna go ahead and throw the bumper back on now. All right guys, so we're top side of the engine bay now. We pulled our harness from under there. I ran it under the air box, and it's coming out right here, okay? So you've got the relay at the center of it, and I need to add, this is for the Pro Linkable because it pulls a little bit more power. Some of these other harnesses are gonna be different, whether you're upfitter or toggle switch. If you've got a toggle switch, you're gonna use the relay, hook it up under the hood. If you've got a Pro kit, they're only gonna give you this harness, so I'll explain what to do if you have upfitters. And then if you've got the Sport Linkable, that's gonna have its own specific upfitter connector. So if you've got a toggle switch harness and you wanna hook it up to your upfitters, you're basically gonna take your relay, mount it to the side, secure it out of the way. You're gonna have your positive and your negative ring terminals. You're gonna hook those up to the battery, and then you're gonna have this connector right here. So this is where your toggle switch connector is gonna go, and you no longer need a toggle switch if you have upfitters. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna take the blue wire from this plug, and then we're gonna hook it up to the upfitter of your choice. And then after that, we're done. All right guys, so I ran out of daylight when I was doing this wiring last time, so I just wanted to go over the wiring with y'all one more time. So right here, we're on the positive side of the battery, have that connected right there, angled it through the little rubber stopper there, so it kind of stays nice tucked and out of the way, and the cover still fits on nicely. So fuse is right here, and then I've got all the grounds for all the different lights just right there on the negative terminal of the battery. I am well aware that this is a total rat's nest right now. This is not the final form. This is just for me to test it. I finished up wiring in the dark last night, and then I'm just gonna test it out, make sure everything worked, and then I'm gonna come back in here and get this cleaned up a bit. But what I wanted to show you is, if you have upfitter wires on this light, then right there, you're gonna see that these are the wires that went into the switch. Blue wire, white wire, black wire, okay? Black wire and white wire are not going to be used. These are for the little LED light that would be on the illuminated switch if you were going to run the toggle switch into the cab. The one that you do need is the blue wire. So that blue wire is what signals the relay to pull power from the battery and send it to the light bar. And you can trigger that with your factory upfitter wire. So you can see right here,
Got a heat shrink butt connector on there. It's a little bit darkened from the lighter that I used to heat it up because of my heat gun. I didn't really feel like messing with it, so I just used a barbecue bit lighter. Anyway, I have that on the aux2 wire, which on this truck is the violet with the orange tracer, and it all works. So we're pulling power from the battery, and then we're using the switch wire on the relay here to trigger the upfitter. Now, technically on the Super Duties, aux5 and aux6 are 40 amp switches, so you could run this all the way to the battery. Baja Designs tells you not to. Not really sure why, considering it's within the amperage rating, but that's what they tell you. So that's what we did for this install, and we may change it up down the road. Once that's done, push this fuse box back into place. There, you can hear the click, and then you're done. Obviously, we've got some wires to clean up on our end, but that is the full wiring installation of this setup. So we have wrapped up the full installation of the XL Pro linkable light bar. This thing looks awesome, functions awesome. It's incredibly bright. And I just really have always liked the way it looked. My one big hang up before with the XL Sport was that it just wasn't quite bright enough. With the additional output of the Pro chips versus the Sport chips, this thing looks killer. So hopefully with this installation video that you've seen now, you'll be able to knock this out at your house, in your garage, in your driveway. It's totally bolt-on with a little bit of plastic cutting. Very easy to wire in, whether you have upfitters or you have the toggle switches, or you're gonna need a toggle switch in your truck. Just make sure you buy the appropriate kit, and whether you want the sports or if you want to invest a little bit more for the pros. Awesome upgrade, you will not regret it. And we have all of these kits, the Sport Linkable for the upfitters, the Sport Linkable for the toggle switch, and the XL Pro. All of these are available on the website at apollo-offroad.com. If we can help you in any way, give us a call, shoot us a text, send us an email. We'll be happy to walk you through the available options and how to install it on your truck. Thanks again for tuning in. We'll catch you next time.